Hello and welcome here to MoreTalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. It's time again for the Champions League. Barcelona almost immediately back in action. Right here and now, we are travelling to Ukraine to face Dynamo Kyiv. And Ronald Koeman today facing questions after some big omissions from the squad. There's no Messi and there is no Frenkie de Jong. Everything that he had to say, it's all coming up in today's video, because we need a response. And I think, to be honest, before anything else, what you would have to say today, looking at Koeman, not only in the answers, but also simply in terms of his appearance, he looked today like somebody who was under that pressure. I think as the Barcelona coach, we've often seen images of Pep Guardiola, and then years later, and Luis Enrique the same, even Ernesto Valverde, whereby being the coach of Barca and everything that surrounds that, it does eventually take its toll. And right here, you can see that Ronald Koeman is certainly looking like a man who desperately needs a result. And he was asked in that conference, are you happy with the way that you've started as the Barca coach? Are you really exceeding your expectations that you had of yourself? And he was very frank. He said no. He said, I'm not happy. He said, obviously, I'm not happy. He said, as coach of Barcelona, we have lost a lot of points. He said, looking ahead though, he said, with games we got to come, he said, we got a lot of games at home in the coming weeks. He said, I'm more optimistic about the future. He said, I am happy with the work we're doing, the work the players are putting in, but of course, I'm very unhappy with the points that we have in La Liga. But of course, make no mistake about it, travelling here to Ukraine, there are some big absences, like I say, in the squad, because here are the players who have travelled to Kiev to face Dynamo, and there is no Lionel Messi, and there is no Frenkie de Jong. And I think when we all saw that squad list, when we saw that Messi had probably been rested, I think we all thought, you know what, that's fine, that's understandable. He could definitely do with that period away from the team right now. But with Frenkie de Jong, admittedly he too needs that rest, but it was still a surprise given the fact we were thinking of using him at centre-back. Because once again, the youngster Oscar Mingueza, the Barcelona B centre-back, he is in the squad. Also, Conrad is in the squad too. And you'll also see Matheus Fernandes, the midfielder, included in Koeman's squad list. And of course, he was asked about all of these things and explaining those decisions. Koeman said, we won't be taking Leo or Frenkie because the situation in the Champions League is quite comfortable for us with the points that we've actually accumulated so far. He said these players desperately needed to rest, and we feel as though this is a good moment to do that. He said both players have played nearly all of the minutes for us this season, and then of course they go away to be with their national teams too. He said especially when you're talking about Messi, he had a very long trip from South America. We all know there about the 15-hour flight that he came back with. He said we need to protect the players because this schedule is just incredible. And Ronald Koeman again really expressing a lot of frustrations with the current calendar, the fact that Barcelona here and all of the major clubs, they're in action every few days. He said it's impossible to keep the players fit. He said we got clear examples of it. He said Sergio Roberto, he said it was the amount of games which caused his injury. He said it was as simple as that. He had an overload. Everybody knows it, the coaches, the players, but yet we continue to play all of these games in this period. He said, I think it's time for UEFA, for FIFA, to think about the players because it's just crazy. And yet we continue to keep playing. Koeman, really not happy with this schedule again. Then of course there was the subject of Gerard Piqué and exactly what his injury means for the team right now and how long he could be out for, with the club still yet to confirm the exact absence of our centre-back. Ronald Koeman said we're talking about somebody here who's been at the club for many years. He said we're not only going to miss his quality but also his personality. We're going to miss that too. He said he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. He said we don't have all the details yet, but he said he is going to be out for a long time and we will miss him. And then of course Koeman was asked about the winter transfer window, about somebody maybe who could come in at centre-back. Is there going to be an opportunity to sign players? Maybe Eric Garcia was mentioned there. He said, we know Piqué's injury is going to be for a while. He said, but actually there's 2 or 3 positions in our team right now where we need reinforcements. But he said, right now, we can't do anything. We can't do anything. It's not January. He said, there's nothing we can do. He said, we just got to work, and we're going to give opportunities to some young players, which he did say was good for Barça. Some of the players that we do indeed have, though, for the time being, somebody, for instance, like Samuel Umtiti. Koeman asked there, could Umtiti become part of your plans? Is he going to have the opportunity to play in the coming weeks as a centre-back? And Koeman said, our plan with Umtiti is that he gets into the right condition to play. He said he has been training well. He has been training pretty much there all with the group. He said, but he's had a lot of time away from the field without playing. He said, though, for the first time putting a time frame on Umtiti's return, he said, we hope that in 2 weeks he'll be ready to play. And like I say, that's the first time we've heard a time frame on it. Up until now, Koeman has said we don't want to put time limits. We don't want to put Umtiti here on a schedule. But now I think needs must. We're desperate for players in that area. 2 weeks. Will we see Umtiti? Let's see. Umtiti, though, is not the only option, and Koeman was asked there in the press conference about the youngster Mingueza, who is with the squad, and also when we could see the return of Ronald Araujo to the team. Koeman said, we only have Longley right now at centre-back, so for sure, this provides a really good opportunity for Oscar Mingueza. He said Araujo has been training for now individually. He said he's not back with the group yet, so that's the first thing that we have to do. He said we want to get him back as soon as possible, but also we don't want to take any risks whatsoever. Quite honestly, because we cannot afford any injuries. And it was interesting there as well to hear Ronald Koeman not only talking about defenders, but also talking there about midfielders. Of course, with Jong out of the team, and also there with Busquets not available for the trip to Kyiv. Could there be an opportunity? You'd think for Alenia, you'd think for Ricky Puig. We're going to be talking about that later on. But also he was asked there about Matheus Fernandes, who is included in the squad today. And Koeman was asked there whether he could get some minutes. But I have to say, he didn't sound too sure about his inclusion. He said, well, when everybody is physically fit, he said there's a lot of competition in midfield. He said, but he's there because there have been injuries and he has been training well. And that's all Koeman said about Matheus Fernandes. So I personally wouldn't expect him to be featuring over Ricky Puig, over Carlos Alenia. I would hope that wouldn't be the case because those two should be ahead of Matheus Fernandes in the pecking order. But of course tomorrow, from Ronald Koeman, we are going to see some big decisions. We are looking good in the group so far, but believe me, for the confidence, for the momentum, we still need this win. And it's going to be fascinating to see what team we line up with tomorrow night. So that right there, guys, is the latest from what Koeman had to say before this match. And like I say, the pressure is firmly on him and his Barcelona players right now. Please join me later on over on the main channel. We're going to be talking a lot more about that lineup. And like I say, it is going to be exciting. Hopefully we'll get to see some young players who are desperate for their opportunity and they could actually take a really big chance for them here. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think there about Koeman's decision to leave Messi and De Jong at home? What do you make there of his responses with regards to Samuel Umtiti? Do you think we could see him back in 2 weeks' time? All of that stuff, let me know down below. And I will see you later on as the build-up continues. We keep pushing and hoping for better. I'll see you then, guys. Thanks as always for watching. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.